Now to the latest in the Trayvon Martin case. The family of George Zimmerman is launching a new website to help with his living expenses and to raise funds for his legal defence. Zimmerman is the self-appointed neighbourhood watchman who shot and killed the unarmed Florida teenager and as of today has neither been arrested nor charged. And a new poll from USA Today reveals that race plays a major role in how Americans see this case. 73% of blacks say if Trayvon had been white, Zimmerman would have been arrested. Only 33% of whites agree. Joanne Reid is an MSNBC contributor and the editor of thegrio.com. She joins us live from Sanford, where she's done great reporting. Good afternoon, Joanne.
Hi, Martin. How are you?
I'm great. Zimmerman's family is launching a website to raise money for his living expenses and his defence, which is curious since he's yet to be arrested or charged. Are they assuming that's just a matter of time now?
Well, there is no word coming to us from the Zimmerman camp. A lot of this has been through leaks or through interviews that they've done with other stations, particularly a local station here. But you do see the beginnings of a preparation for a potential defense, adding on counsel who actually has experience trying criminal cases as opposed to their original lawyer who didn't. We had the former media advisor to the family, Joe Oliver, said to me that it was just in case they wanted to make sure that they added a lawyer that had experience dealing with the media. And now you have this legal defense, apparently, website. So, yeah, I do think you're seeing the beginnings of them preparing for the possibility, at least, of an arrest.
And I guess we have to assume the same, Joanne, with the number of people they put on the record for interviews, not least the lawyer, the PR man, as you say, and the brother of George Zimmerman.
Yeah, absolutely, Martin. I talked to an attorney that I know actually out of Miami that's a criminal defense attorney, and we talked about this. And the idea here is that you do see a lot of elements of trying to publicly shape the defense of George Zimmerman just in case there is a trial. They've really put a lot of information out there. It is, of course, hearsay, but his attempt to get his side of the story out without George Zimmerman himself actually having to appear. So from the standpoint of trying to build up a defense, I suppose you could say it's not a bad idea to try to get their narrative out there for potential jurors.
Right. Zimmerman's family has sent a letter to the Seminole County chapter of the NAACP in which they issue a warning. If something happens to George as a result of the race furor stirred up by this mischaracterization of George, there will be blood on your hands as well as the rest of the racists that have rushed to judgment. You need to call off the dogs, period, publicly and swiftly. This may seem like a silly question, but that letter appears to focus exclusively on the race issue, which the Zimmerman family has previously said has nothing to do with what happened.
Yeah, it's interesting. That letter, it took a very aggressive tone. First of all, there are a lot of strange things about it. First of all, we don't know for certain if it came from an actual family member authentic of the Zimmerman family. I've reached out to both of the attorneys to try to authenticate that. We don't know that. But the Orlando Sentinel is running with it and saying that Robert Zimmerman, the brother, has talked about this letter and this supposed flyer that was distributed in the black community. Now, a couple of strange things. First of all, as you said, Martin, it focuses exclusively on black people. The words black people used throughout the letter, including underlined in one part of it, and blaming black people, in the words of the letter, for saying racist, calling George Zimmerman a racist, saying that there would be blood on black people's hands if anything were to happen to him, saying he's in fear of his life because of threats to him from black people. It takes a very racial tone for a letter that's purporting to say, stop the racial tone in this case. The second thing that's strange about it is it was not sent to the NAACP. Neither the national NAACP, whose address is on it, nor the local chapter of the NAACP, whose name, the person's name is on it, ever received this letter. The person who received it was the sister of a gentleman named Ware, who was beaten up about a little over a year ago by a Sanford Police Department, a police officer, and then that officer was not arrested. It created a furor, and it was addressed to his sister. So a lot of strange things about this letter.
So just to be clear, Joanne, this letter we haven't been able to confirm was sent by any member of the Zimmerman family.
It came to the sister of Sherman Ware to her address, so they knew her address, to her by name. However, it was from an unmarked address. There was no return address on it. So that we don't know. It was signed by the Zimmerman family, the one to her, and then the letter attached to it that was to the NAACP was a concerned member of the Zimmerman family. But again, neither of the attorneys for George Zimmerman has confirmed that they are, in fact, the letter in fact came from a member of the Zimmerman family. It's just addressed that way.
Indeed. Joy-Ann Reid, thank you so much for your accurate and detailed reporting on this story, and we'll be right back.